All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case. Over on Rumble, of course. And shit, I didn't put the news links up. I've got to do that first. Caught slipping. Big problem. We got to talk about all sorts of stuff. Planetary alignments are coming. Well, they're kind of underway already. Bunch of Hunter Biden's artwork was destroyed in the LA fires, and the Palisades fire, actually. It was at his attorney's house. So that's going to be a tax write-off for him. He probably doesn't give a shit. I think that's the point. Although I will admit, some of Hunter Biden's artwork is kind of talented. CNN's defamation trial. Oh, God, that's going to be a fucking funny story. An expert in grand strategy talking about Donald Trump and his various diplomatic plans. Restaurant charges $120 to add pineapple on pizza. Yes, we are going to wade into the ultimate debate of all time, whether pineapple goes on pizza. I happen to believe that it does. And then it's possible that Trump might be the savior of TikTok, actually, somehow. Mike the Wop, Clank, motherfuckers. Anyone ever watch Wild America with Marty Stauffer? I put him between David Attenborough and Steve Irwin for my top 3 favorites. Steve Irwin's my all-time favorite. I have no clue who the other two are, actually. $120 for pineapple on pizza. They're making a statement, basically, that they don't believe that pineapple goes on pizza. I believe that it does, but you have to do it right. We'll describe that later. Crikey! That's a big gator. Look at that crocodile over there. And then he gets killed by a stingray. I've petted a stingray before. When I was in New Orleans, both times I've gone to the aquarium. And I literally, you take 2 fingers and you put them like this, and you put it in the water up to your wrist, and they can feel your pulse. And they'll come in to investigate what it is. And they'll sort of rise up to the surface and sometimes like splash around. And you can literally pet the fucking stingrays. If you're ever in New Orleans, go to the goddamn aquarium. Just trust me, you're going to have a great time. They keep their stingers clipped so that they can't do stingy thing to people. Although, I mean, you're not supposed to swim in there with the stingrays, so probably not a problem. Copium Poppies. Pineapple is excellent on pizza, but it's got to be paired with pepperoni, sausage, purple onion, and most importantly, jalapenos. Got to balance the sweet with the spicy. I think it just goes with ham. A Hawaiian-style pizza is actually delicious. The red onions. Yeah, that's a good idea. The red onions is a good idea. I generally don't like a lot of meat on my pizza. Like, it could just be pineapple and red onions, actually, for me. Mostly, I eat mushroom pizza. Had an olive pizza, and I was warned against it. I was told by somebody that it was not a good idea to get the olives on the pizza, that I should get the mushrooms instead. Then I got food poisoning, and that was a difficult day. Oh, God. Ham is perfectly fine as long as it's thin and shredded and roasted on a Hawaiian pizza. Nothing wrong with that. My favorite pizza is the one that I make myself. Now, when I'm in the Netherlands, you can get the crusts. They're pre-made, and I make my own sauce, and then I put like mushrooms or olives or whatever on it, and then and artichoke hearts. That's good on pizza, and then. You add the cheese first, the base cheese, then you add the toppings, then you cover it over with a sprinkling of mozzarella. Copium Poppies. Forgot crumbled real bacon as well. Bacon is good on pizza, yeah. Mostly, though, I like my pizza vegetarian. Heart of Palm. I've had that a couple of times. It actually is very good. Axiom, what are your thoughts on Ashley Moody replacing Marco Rubio in Florida? Do you think she's an upgrade over him? I'll have to look into it. I currently have no thoughts. Festiva, hot take. I like cold pizza right out of the fridge. If it's got extra sauce and extra cheese and stuff, then it's definitely best the second day. You can put anything on pizza, bastardize it, basically. Let's get to the first article, though. Planetary parade will see planets align in rare spectacle. Apparently, this particular kind of alignment only happens once every 400 or so years. So you're not going to see one for a number of generations. Yes, 6 planets are going to align in the sky. Which ones are they? I know which ones. January and February will see 2 remarkable planetary alignments, with one of them offering stargazers a chance to witness a celestial spectacle that will not be repeated for another 400 years. On Friday, the 17th, that's today, and Saturday, 18th of January, 6 planets will line up in the night sky in an event that some astronomers refer to as a planetary parade. Mars, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, and Venus, Uranus will be visible, will appear to be together in a row, although Neptune and Uranus will only be visible with binoculars or a telescope. My favorite planet, other than Earth, obviously, is Neptune. I just always thought it was cool because it's like a miniaturized blue version of Jupiter. But Uranus is funny because you're making a scatological reference regardless. It's either Uranus or Uranus. So I don't know. I have an overdeveloped sense of humor. Then on the 28th of February, seven planets will align in a spectacular configuration that will not occur again until the year 2492. So that's going to be a while. None of us will be around for that, unless you practice some real crazy magic. The best time to see the planetary parade in January is during the first couple of hours after the sun goes down, with Saturn and Venus appearing close to each other in the southwest, Jupiter high overhead, and Mars in the east. And also we've got, I believe, Mercury retrograde at the same time. So it's going to be pretty fun. You're going to want to see it. I'm going to be doing some ritualism, actually, for that. I've got my blood crystal, and it'll be bled once more. It's funny because one of the main lineups is actually happening right after Inauguration, literally within 24 hours. And oh, Dave, have you washed your ass today? Not yet. I'm going to be doing that later. Yeah, I've got to shave too. I've got some fucking stubble. The problem with having stubble is that if you have long hair, it like clings to it in dry weather, and it becomes really fucking annoying. Yeah, we have retrograde happening. We have all sorts of crazy shit happening in the skies. By the way, coincidental timing. Again, the occult does not exist. Let's see. Copium poppies. I really think Trump should change the inauguration location last minute and have a body double making a spectacle at the DC location. It could double as a troll and a security move. I think that he should shoot French fries out of the side of his garbage truck. Mike the Wop. David Attenborough is the OG of nature documentaries starting in the 50s all the way to his Netflix series now. Also the brother of famous actor Richard Attenborough, the old man from Jurassic Park. Huh. I was not aware of this. Doc Holliday. I found it hard to... It's hard to find. Oh, well, whatever. Never mind. Did you ever see that episode of... what was it called? What was that old series where they would have like weird shit and they had the one episode with the doll and stuff? Not the X-Files. It was older than that. The old black and white one. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. I'm having a Biden moment. But they had one where there was some Martian that was trying to invade the Earth. And then the other dude that he was sort of stalking turned out to be from Venus. And he was laughing at him because it's like, no, this world will belong to the Venusians or something like that. Yeah, Twilight Zone. Why couldn't I fucking remember? I have no clue. Apparently, I need more minerals in my diet at the moment. Even the mushroom pills aren't helping me at the moment. I'm turning into Joe Biden. I'm getting old. My birthday's in only 3 days, so yeah, I'm getting old. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I needed those minerals and vitamins. Yeah, it was Twilight Zone. There was an episode, there was this like creepy dude, and it turned out in the end he was a Martian. And but then the other dude sort of like, then he's like, oh yes, this world will be invaded, but it won't be by the Martians. It'll be by the Venuvians. Doc Holliday, Dave, we don't need to hear about Styx's ass. Yeah, I've never shown my ass. I don't do ass stuff. That's definitely not one of my proclivities. Jeremy Tricosi. Hey, Styx, can I get a shout out from my wife, Liz? Her birthday is Sunday, and she just had her 4th child. Shout out to Liz. Congratulations. Copium Poppies. No, the body double would be the one doing the garbage truck thing while Trump is at Mar-a-Lago, or preferably a random, unpredictable, but symbolic location, taking the oath of office. No, I think that he should storm his way up Pennsylvania Avenue, standing next to a French fry dispensing garbage truck. And then he takes the stage, takes the oath of office, and immediately signs pieces of paper to pardon people and to order the flags to be flown at full mast. Dan Malone, 53, sent $5. No comment. Thank you very much. Doc Holliday, those are lyrics. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. And there's my, $5 for today. Yes, I do know the song. Last Beacon, again, if you want to spam things, that's fine, but you have to pay to do so. Apparently, about 200 works of art by Hunter Biden are now destroyed. So we're going to talk about that briefly. I've looked at some of his art. Honestly, he's not bad with regards to artwork. It is basically, it's tax evasion and embezzlement and stuff like that. I mean, we all know why he's creating the art. It's making a lot of money for the family. Because what will happen is that someone will pay him a shit ton of money, and then they'll donate it and use it as a tax write-off. That's basically what's happening. They'll sell it at markup because he's got name recognition. This happens all the time with art, and multiple politicians do it. That being said, I do have to say that some of Hunter's art actually is talented. It's some of it's kind of impressionist, I would say. Some of it's almost romanticist, and some of it's almost Art Deco, actually. He has a wide range of artistic skill. I mean, everyone other than Pol Pot, there's always something about them that's a redeeming quality. Hunter Biden is a crack-smoking whoremonger and an absentee and completely corrupt in pretty much every possible political and social aspect. That being said, at the very least, he has some degree of artistic talent. I couldn't paint the things that he's painting. I mean, I'm just going to point that out. Yeah, Hitler was actually a good artist. The problem is that you had sort of an anally retentive society at the time with regards to art. And he tended more towards romanticism. And so his art was considered outdated. And that's why he wasn't admitted into art school, which is kind of the reason why World War II happened, actually, which is hysterical. World War II happened because a reasonably talented artist was not admitted to art school. That's basically the long and short. Maybe Hunter needs to be admitted to an art school lest we repeat history. Now people are just talking about anuses the whole time over on Rumble. This does, by the way, not surprise me. Copium Poppies. Seems like a bad idea given that there are multiple high-profile Democrats not attending. And I saw something about the former presidents not attending. I don't think it's just TDS. No, several of the former presidents, I believe Clinton and Bush, are going. And of course, Carter just died. So, I mean, he can attend, but he'd be in a wooden box. But I think that Trump should go to the inauguration. He should definitely be behind bulletproof glass at the time. and should go there. He'll deliver a speech, sign some paperwork immediately. I would do it when I'm still at the podium. Well, here I am pardoning Ross Ulbricht, on day one, like I planned, like I promised. I'm pardoning most of the J6ers, like I promised, like I planned. By the way, raise the flags because, this is just excessive and makes no sense. This is Inauguration Day. And if he does that after driving his garbage truck full of French fries down Pennsylvania Avenue, it'll be the best birthday in my remembrance. Kurgan, Styx, what is your opinion on Hinduism, particularly their cosmology? Clank, I like Hinduism. India has some issues, but Hinduism overall, while very, very complicated in many ways, Ayurveda, for example, I believe is a generally wise religion insofar as you can call a religion wise. The cosmology, I don't know quite so much about. I did edit a work called The Hindu Astrologer, I believe it was called. But it was really Western astrology, and it was just rebranded. It was basically a gimmick just to get people to buy it. Oh, it's all gone. Should have brought a second one in. You need your V8. Should have had a V8. Doc Holliday. It doesn't matter. The art is worthless now anyways because Daddy's not POTUS. Happy birthday early. Thank you very much. It's still worth tens of thousands of dollars a piece, but it was being stored with his attorney. Unfortunately, his attorney lived in the Palisade region. Real Sebastian Monroe. Good morning, Styx. I dreamed that I visited your house and we hung out and discussed various things. Your house looks bigger on the inside than on the outside. Sorry if I overstayed my welcome. I had weird dreams last night, too. It must be the planetary conjunction. Doc Holliday, nah, nothing redeemable about him after what he did with his 14-year-old niece. Yeah, I'm aware of that fact. But he does have some degree of artistic talent. He should be drawing profiles in prison. Ozzy's Robots, greetings, Styx, boarding a plane to D.C., going to the inauguration, ball, etc. Here's hoping we don't get taken out. Clank, be safe. Keep an eye out for any bullshit. Oscar Gonzalez. Orange Man needs to revoke Sloppy Joe's security clearance and everyone else he appointed and those that worked in the administration. I would agree with that. Yeah, so we got a bunch of Hunter Biden art destroyed, and it was probably the good ones. Apparently, the claim, and I don't know if this is true, I don't know if it's confirmed, the claim is that he painted with his own shit, and he tried to use that to pay his rent. From Hunter, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if that, by the way, was true. FB over on Rumble. Why are the flags lowered? The flags are lowered because Jimmy Carter died, but they're lowering them for an inordinate period of time, and it's clearly a snub at Trump. So my hope is that he immediately signs a piece of paper passing an executive order while he's literally at the podium ordering them to be raised back up. King of Biltong, today is my completed journey around the Sunday. Hope everyone has a great day. Oh, we've got similar birthdays. Fellow Januarian. Somebody called me a Capricorn earlier. I am an Aquarius. If you knew me in real life, you would know that I'm a pretty typical Aquarius. Apparently, I'm a cusp sign or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not big into astrology. I don't know as much about it. I can tell you all sorts of crazy shit about herbalism and folklore and the paranormal and cryptids and high ritual magic, low magic, everything like that. Black magic, white magic, gray magic, various figures within the occult. I can rattle off for hours about these things. Astrology is the one that has evaded me. I'm just not interested in it. Yeah, Anton hooked me up with some biltong literally less than an hour ago, actually. And it was delicious. He sent me some of the Wagyu. That's going to end up probably, some of it'll, the peri-peri I gave to my dad, because he really likes the spicy ones. And he'll probably put it in his ramen soup. He eats ramen soup every day, actually, for lunch. I can't digest ramen myself. Yeah, King of Biltong. I saw the message, Sticks. Yeah, thank you very much. You can always use more Biltong in your life. Not a banned account. Boss is taking inauguration week off. Mental health. Yeah. Yeah, there are people that are going to be like mentally broken for an extended period of time after the inauguration, and it's going to be fucking hilarious. CNN defamation trial. Judge forces CNN's lead counsel, Dave Axelrod himself, by the way, to apologize to plaintiff on the spot in courtroom. Judge William Henry also put CNN's attorney on notice. Judge Henry blasted CNN's lead counsel, David Axelrod, on Wednesday and ordered him to apologize to plaintiff Zachary Young for repeatedly calling him a liar. Before jurors entered the room on Thursday, Judge Henry asked Axelrod, who is not the CNN on-air pundit with the same name, if he ever apologized as ordered. By the way, talk about mimetic. Dave Axelrod, but not the same Dave Axelrod. Fucking hilarious. I have not, Axelrod said. Why don't you do that and I will judge whether it's an apology. Saying, I'm sorry you were offended by that is not an apology, Judge Henry said. Mr. Young, I apologize for the statements I made about the Helios contract and what it represented. I said you lied during your deposition. Your deposition testimony was similar to what we saw in the Conway letter, and for that I do apologize, Axelrod said. Judge Henry asked Young if he accepted it. No, I don't, Young responded. Fuck your apology, basically. Young, a Navy veteran, alleges CNN smeared him by implying he illegally profited while helping people flee Afghanistan on the black market during the Biden administration's military withdrawal from the country in 2021. Brokered by Trump and ruined by Biden, by the way. Young believes CNN destroyed his reputation and business by branding him an illegal profiteer who exploited desperate Afghans during November 2021 segment. Judge Henry instructed lead counsel from both sides that they owe $200 apiece, who gives a fuck, from Wednesday's ordeal after he previously imposed a $100 fine for each time a lawyer makes a personal insult to the other side. The money goes to North Florida Legal Services, and the fine has been raised to $1,000 going forward. Of course, CNN doesn't really care about having to pay $100. I found this so fucking funny. He's got the same name as one of the main anchors on the same network, and he's getting reprimanded by the judge for calling the opponent a liar, who clearly is in the right. Young will win the case. They're going to settle out of court. And then he comes out and says, do you accept the apology? No, I don't. No, I don't accept the apology. By the way, legally speaking, that's a good idea. I mean, even if he does believe that the apology was in good faith, you're in a legal case, you got to be careful about what you say. If you accept the apology, that could be potentially entered in as evidence. Well, he accepted our apology, Your Honor. Obviously, he understands that we're sorry about what we did. You should fine us less. In the end, there's going to be a settlement. That's 100% sure. Fibrick. I'm half Mexican and Muslim, aka worst nightmare combination for a racist. Is it bad for me to support Trump? I feel somewhat guilty for liking him. No, you support whoever the hell you want. Who cares if you're half Mexican? Who cares if you practice Islam? The Sumerian. Aquarians are freaks. I used to date one. Yeah, we are. We're basically, imagine a hurricane filled with icicles. That's basically what an Aquarian can be like when they're angry. When they're in a good mood, the Aquarian generally prefers to be alone. We like a lot of solitude. I'm an extreme introvert. I get drained of energy when I'm around other people in groups, like when I'm in society and stuff. That's why I prefer not to go to the store. I don't go clubbing. I don't go dancing. I prefer my garden. But we can be a little bit freaky sometimes, yeah. Get us mad, see what fucking happens. It'll take a while for us to retaliate, but we'll be planning it every step of the way. It'll be like a James Bond movie or something. And then you get destroyed. Not a banned account. How long will the political grandstanding against remote workers last? We are not lazy. Many of us are more productive, not commuting 3 hours to DC. I happen to, yeah, I generally agree with that. I think remote work is fine. Depending on the, I mean, if you're in clerical work or something like that, who cares? You know, if you can work from home, it's more efficient. It makes more sense. Lemon curd. Do you go to Renaissance fairs? Never been to one, but I'd like to. That sounds fun. I got to find my Jacobin shirt, though, first. And then I've got a tricorn hat coming. And, you know, I guess that's not really Renaissance, but it'd still be fun. Yeah, I had a Jacobin shirt. It was one of those white fluffy ones. I had always wanted one. I never knew what it was called. It took me an inordinate amount of time to actually figure out what the term actually was for the shirt. It was really comfy, but I don't know where the hell I put it. It must be downstairs in the basement somewhere. King of Biltong. Jesus, no spelling for me today. You can't cast a spell at the moment. It's rather sad. No, Jacobin shirt with that, like that piratical leather that was sent to me, and then the tricorn cap would look pretty fucking cool. Although I'd need to get different pants. I mean, pirates didn't really wear blue jeans, you know. I've got an old ass pair of blue jeans. I wish I could show you it. It's tattered. It's like completely destroyed, basically. And I've had it since high school, and I still fit into it. A lot of people, when they're getting up towards 40, they don't fit into their old clothes. I still do. In fact, I have to hitch my belt up a little bit more now. Lemon curd. It did not with the big puffy sleeves. It's a Jacobin shirt, I guess is what it's called. It's just like a white floofy shirt. And it's really comfy, by the way, let me tell you, and highly breathable. So that's the good thing to wear in like the summer. Let's get to our sponsors, by the way, shall we? We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get delicious mushroom pills. They will raise your energy. They're probably good for you. They seem to work at neuroregeneration as well, which is highly helpful. By the way, again, before I get to the rest of the sponsors, if I am shouting a little bit or I can't hear the amazing amount of noise in the background, I still have ear problems at the moment, unfortunately. We also have pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, important for people like me with lots and lots of books, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, glassware, and much more. You can get the Ouroboros logo spoon, the official Clank spoon. Put it in your coffee and keep it in there while you're drinking it. That's official for the channel. BiltongUSA.com or AntonsUSA.com. Use code STICKS for 10% off. By the way, you can get Biltong like I just got delivered literally an hour ago. Popped it in the mini fridge. It's not going to last very long. Let's put it that way. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, where you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer hats. Several varieties and colors are available, by the way. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, the land of the seed survival bucket, which is quite large. You're going to need a big property. Otherwise, you're not going to be planting all the seeds, I suppose. Also, there's Sticks, Hex, and Hammer branded soap available there as well. We got several varieties. One is cedar, clove, and blueberry. It's a blue bar. The other is lavender marjoram. That's the pink bar. It's sort of a his and hers soap bar thing. Websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where, of course, you can get Sticks, Hex, and Hammer products such as blades, which are really, really sharp, as I learned on literally a live stream. We've got beanies, you know, sort of as a joke, but, you know, beanies are fine, so it's no problem. Jackets and much more available there, too. And finally, jamandbean.com, JAMNbean.com, which gives me an excuse to sniff this every single time I live stream. It is delicious. The Clank blend, I mean, I want to roll around in it. I'm going to have him fill a bathtub full of Clanker coffee, and I'm just going to take a nap in it or something like that. Lemon curd. You're aging like a fine whiskey, Anton. So those are our sponsors. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about Trump's political strategy. I've alluded to this before. This is actually on Politico. I couldn't believe it because even a Politico article is giving Trump credit for his overall grand strategy. I've said the reason why he's talking about buying Greenland is to pull them out of the European sphere, not to annex them, simply to allow U.S. investors to move in, exploit the resources. People in Greenland get a lot of money. The U.S. gets a lot of money and resources. Everyone benefits, except for the Danish. It's basically a power move against the European Union. I support it. With regards to Canada, it's more trolling. It's basically, hey, haha, I can tariff your ass. Your economy will collapse. Your political elite seems to be already collapsing anyway, so it's not going to be that difficult. And it's basically a joke. It's not really expansionism. The only expansionism that I see that is plausible would be the Panama Canal. He's talked about that as well. With that, I think it's a little bit different. I think that the United States should reassert hegemony under the Monroe Doctrine and take over the Canal Zone jointly with the Panamanians. Of course, you're not actually annexing it. You're just, having an area to operate in. Put in a military base, expand the canal, make the notes good with their national debt, and then tell them simply, we'll expand the canal, we'll do all of these things if you give us a military base and you stop taxing our ships, our freight. Well, call it a day. That's a great deal. It's exactly the kind of deal that Trump would make, by the way. What you do is you basically insinuate threatening to invade, and it's the big ask. And then in the end, you negotiate. It takes a while, but you can do that. It is perfectly possible for the United States to negotiate with the Panamanians such a deal. There's no reason why we can't do that. We're a much larger country. We have a huge amount of tonnage that goes through the Panama Canal. We built it in the first place. We're the guarantors of the sovereignty of Panama under the Monroe Doctrine. If we assert all of these things and simply explain them, you make the big ask, and then you negotiate. Trump has a good idea. When Politico is giving him somewhat begrudging support, you know that it's probably a good idea. On foreign diplomacy, Donald Trump is absolutely superb, certainly by comparison to any modern president. The last time that we had a president that was as good at diplomacy and navigating this sort of thing was Theodore fucking Roosevelt. He's the last time that we had something comparable to Donald Trump. It's been over 100 years. Again, not a huge surprise. Trump has a very unique skill set. He was given some money by his dad, who was a developer, and he turned it into a goddamn business empire. He's done business in Asia. He's done business in Russia. He's done business in Europe. He knows, therefore, the culture of these places because he's had to deal with these people in the boardroom. So he's capable of conducting diplomacy on a level that most presidents aren't capable of, because you either have to be book learned about foreign cultures or you have to have actually interacted with them in order to know enough about them to actually conduct negotiations. There was a infographic, I remember, this is probably about 10 years ago, and it was talking about the different management methods, like the different business methods in different countries. Like in some countries, it's very hierarchical. In others, it's very circular. In others, it's very oligarchical. In some, it's more almost democratic. And so you have these different takes within business, and they bleed over into politics. Because what do business people do? They influence politics. So it's going to be exactly the same. You also have to realize there are countries where you're dealing with both a president and a prime minister. There are countries in which you're dealing with some sort of guerrilla movement or a democratically elected council. There are some countries in which you're dealing with a dictator. They're not the same. Trump understands this. The current administration, thankfully outgoing on my birthday in just 3 days, does not understand this. And that's why diplomacy with the United States, our deal making, has been a mess. With Panama, You would assert hegemony, but you would sweeten the deal. You would make sure, don't worry, dude, we'll pay off your whole national debt. We'll expand the canal. You'll be making money hand over fist. Kick out the Chinese and let us build a fucking base there, basically, and stop tariffing our ships. With Canada, they're our best buddies. You can just troll them. That's what Trump is doing. With Greenland, it's more simply taking them out of the Eurosphere, putting them more in the American sphere, and then using the resources, taking the minerals and the fuel resources there. It enriches the people of Greenland at the same time that it enriches the United States and drives costs down. It's a great idea. And so Trump does understand what he's doing. Capsule, where's Styx? You trolling, dude. Musically assured destruction. Blinken just admitted Hamas recruited as many fighters as they lost. Trump also sent a real estate developer to broker the ceasefire. Yeah, Hamas is messed up. So is the Israeli Authority. Netanyahu at this point is trying to save his job more than anything else. Richard III, is the Israeli hostage deal still falling apart? And what planets are aligning? I listed them off earlier. If you go back in the stream, I think it's Venus, Mars, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Neptune. I think those are the 6. So yeah, talking about the ceasefire deal as well on the side here. I expect that the deal will pan out, but I expect that Trump is going to have to, again, assert hegemony and say, look, fucking knock it off. I suspect that it's going to wait until after January 20th. In the end, neither party, no party involved, will get everything that it wants, but there will, I believe, be a ceasefire. It'll just take a little more time. Could be on day 1, by the way, of Trump's presidency. Wouldn't that be funny? It'd be exactly like the Iranian hostage crisis under Carter. Reagan gets elected, the hostages get released within 24 hours. Oh, imagine that. They're actually afraid of the president of the United States now and the fact that they might get fucking pit bombed. This is a funny one. This is really hard-hitting news. Restaurant charges $120 to add pineapple on pizza. There are a few moments as controversial in food history as the decision by a Canadian chef, of course it would be Canada, by the way, although I agree with the decision in this case, in the 1960s to put tinned pineapple on top of a ham pizza. When Sam Panopoulos created what he and his brother / partner in crime dubbed Hawaiian pizza, it was a breach of Italian culinary protocol that would echo down through the ages. Some 6 decades later, the question of whether pineapple belongs on pizza is a topic that divides nations, communities, and even families and content creators. This is one thing, along with steak preparation, on which I cannot jive with Razorfist on. I am solidly on medium rare mode for steak, generally speaking. If it's a little bit over or a little bit under, that's fine. Medium rare is the perfect steak, and it should be a ribeye, by the way. With pizza, I believe you can put whatever the fuck you want on it. In fact, apparently in Sweden, I think they put banana on pizza. I would be interested to try it, actually. I'm thinking of the flavor profile between the fairly sweet sauce and the banana. It could work, actually. And the Swedes are goddamn heathens at this point. They never evolved out of barbarism. For a while there, they became the most intellectual culture in the world. And then they just decided to slide back into barbarism for the most part. But bananas on pizza, yeah, I can see that. Kiwi on pizza, I don't think that I would like. I think it would be too tangy, actually. But some people, apparently, they put kiwi on their pizza. But pineapple is definitely acceptable. But there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. Some people, including at UVM, by the way, in the lunch hall, they believe the way to make a pineapple pizza is to take pineapple chunks and put it on the pizza. That waterlogs it. It makes it soggy. Well, pizza is not supposed to be too soggy. What you do is you take thinly sliced pineapple rings. You can slice it yourself or you can get it in a can. It doesn't really matter. You should actually slice it double, by the way. Take a really sharp knife and take the thin slice and make it even thinner. And then you dab it off with a paper towel, and then you bake it into the pizza. The reason why is because otherwise you waterlog it. If you're using pineapple chunks or something like that, it's going to come out like shit. Like people use the thick pineapple rings on it. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, the taste is fine, but texture also matters, right? I like my pizza a little bit on the crispy side. So, that's a big problem. I generally, I get mushroom pizza whenever I can. And I've made it myself before. And I absolutely overload it with fucking mushrooms. Like, again, what I do, like when I was in the Netherlands, you could get pre-made crusts. And they were pre-sauced, but there's never enough sauce on them, so you just ignore that. You make your own sauce. I make it a little bit on the rustic side, with sometimes with zucchini in it, by the way, if I'm making pasta. But with a marinara for the pizza, typically I sweeten it a little bit more and sort of leave it as is. I don't fully homogenize it. There should be some little tomato chunks in there. And then you put that on. Then you put on your first layer of cheese. And this is just like a regular old pizza cheese, like a mix of, shredded cheese. Then you put on whatever toppings you want. Now, I do both black olives and mushrooms. You have to thinly slice the mushrooms. They're going to be sandwiched between 2 layers of cheese. They're going to absorb moisture and they're going to absorb flavor. And that's a really good thing. So then you layer that up. And I usually basically coat the entire pizza in it, by the way. And then you put on your second layer of cheese. And usually I use shredded mozzarella. You can do others, like cheese is always good. So it doesn't really matter. But I would send, Ozfan, I sent you a DM with a UPS tracking number. Thank you. Unfortunately, right now, DMs on Twitter are not working so well. I've been trying unsuccessfully to access them, actually, most of the day. But yes, pineapple goes on pizza. It is perfectly acceptable. I realize that Italians would find this to be, that it's probably illegal in parts of Italy. I realize that, but it is still tasty. The best pizza, though, is with mushrooms. Mushrooms just naturally go with cheese. They get that kind of smoky flavor when they get baked in with the cheese, and it's just superb. Second best, black olives. Third best would be artichoke hearts. Oh, artichokes are great on a pizza. You can mix all 3 of them together, but the thing is, if you put too many, this is another problem that people have. They think they need like 5 toppings on a pizza. At some point, you're overloading the pizza with so much material that it can't bake properly and will not get crispy. And so you end up with a soggy piece of pizza. So usually I only do 1 or 2 toppings. My favorite, I think that mushroom and artichoke combined together is great. Otherwise, it'll just be black olives alone. Spinach is fine. Spinach is great. Pepperoni is fine. Ham and pineapple, again, if you prepare it properly. Yeah, the pizza debate, I mean, if I made a video about the pizza debate, I'm sure I'd get some people telling me to fuck myself in the comments, no matter what I say. It doesn't really matter. It's one of those cooking. I've made videos and like pictures and stuff of my food before. And it is so much more goddamn vicious than anything you see in politics. Politics, it's like, okay, should we have an atomic war or not? Should we kill 1 million people? You'd think that people would have stronger opinions about that than whether pineapple goes on pizza, but they don't. Cuisine is probably number 1 on the vicious scale. It's insane. Like I'll post pictures of food that was very, very good, like my harira or my lentil soup. And people would start bitching about like the photography skills, basically. Oh, that looks like shit. Well, no, it's delicious. What are you talking about? I make a lentil soup like a goddamn boss, but you didn't present it properly. And sometimes people eat with their eyes. Yeah, it's literally goddamn insane. I stopped posting pictures of the food that I was cooking because people would just bitch at me nonstop. The only exception was when I made cream of mushroom. People universally agreed that that looked good, which is odd because it's not as good as my lentil soup or my tomato basil. Yeah, watch your girl. Just tell people you're not a food stylist. Yeah, I tried to explain that to people. I'm like, look, I'm taking a picture of this to show you what I just cooked, but I'm not going to sit there and put makeup on it. There's no reason to. I just want to eat it. I'm hungry. And people would still, they'd complain endlessly. So I stopped. I was like, dude, I'm used to getting trolled. I've gotten thousands of death threats in my life. But the level of viciousness when you post anything about food online, unless it looks absolutely superb, is insane. And even if it does, like, let's say you got a professional photographer to take the best thing that you could cook and take, like, literally take it into a studio and take pictures. Then you get someone bitching and saying, well, you're fancy schmancy. I can cook it cheaper. It's inexplicable. Makes absolutely no sense. You know, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, I suppose. But I mean, men get as bitchy as like PMS suffering women when it regards food presentation. I couldn't understand it. Jack White. Remember, Pelosi comes from a very distinguished pedigree when it comes to corruption and criminality. True. Her family got involved with the corruption machine politics of Baltimore, and her daddy was in business with the mob. Not everyone that's in the mafia is a bad person, by the way. JFK's family was in with them. Crossover maniac. People put out all sorts of stuff on pizza. Why is pineapple the one topping that people lose their mind over? Well, also kiwis and bananas. Even if you don't like that topping, how is it worse than, let's say, anchovies? I like anchovies on pizza. You don't need so many of them, though, because they're so salty. Also, brine shrimp. Shrimp on pizza is good. Nick C. Where are those pictures of the sexy garlic bread? Oh, AP Biology nostalgia. That's my friend from high school, by the way. Hello, Nick. Yeah, I wish that I had pictures of the garlic bread. I will have to make it soon. Yes, it was just... I'm going to tell the story again. I can't help myself because Nick is here. Mrs. Rayford, old AP Biology teacher from high school, she had everyone come over to her house to cram study before the AP exam. And I think both of us got 5s on it, so we got the college credit, which was, she was an amazing teacher. I think, unfortunately, she's deceased now. I know she wasn't doing so well the last time I saw her. But she made this garlic bread. And you would think that Hunter Biden had sprinkled crack on it. It was that good. Like, and you only get a couple pieces because, you know, she can only cook so much and there's, you know, like 20 kids there. And you're like, damn it, it ran out. And she made good pasta too. Yeah, I made garlic bread though once. It was close. I'm 90% of the way towards understanding exactly how she did it. It was very, very good, but it wasn't as good as Mrs. Rayford's. I've never had garlic bread that's on that same level. I can make it well, but it wasn't that good. I don't think that I'll ever be able to fully replicate the recipe. But I'm going to come as close as I can. It's like kitchen alchemy. Richard III, pineapple on pizza is blasphemy. I don't always agree with you, Sticks, but when I do, it's usually about guns. Lol. No, pineapple can go on pizza. It's delicious. Miss Thonic, what are your thoughts on deep dish pizza? That's fine, but I prefer just the standard traditional, you know, Brooklyn style pizza mostly. Mike the Wop, I told you once before that Rogan and Elon ate anchovies and pineapple on pizza. The sweet and the salty contrast could work. I don't know that I would combine them. I'd prefer them separate, but I have had anchovies on pizza and it's actually pretty good. And then this has devolved into the pizza stream. Fuck the TikTok story. I'm not going to be able to get to it. Whiskey Biscuit. I've had a pizza that had thinly sliced potatoes and bacon on it. It was amazing. Jupiter Pizza, Berkeley. One of the few things I like about that town. Potatoes, wouldn't add much to the flavor, but it could work, I guess. Origami. Take a pack of Hawaiian rolls and cut them down the middle. That's your dough and make a Hawaii pineapple pizza. You have to thin dice the pineapple, though, and drain the juice. Yes, draining the juice off is important. Otherwise, the pizza will be ruined. King of Biltong. Check our stream yesterday. We are building our own premises. We humbly request anyone able to order some biltong and support us in achieving this in 2025 goal. www.biltongusa.com. Sticks for 10% off. That's what I'm talking about. I strongly endorse biltong. Absolutely. Elucidation station. Yes, according to Haaretz, Trump's envoy told the Israelis that he doesn't give a damn about Shabbat and that they need to meet now, and sure enough, they did. Lol, based. Yeah, I love it when some liberal black pillars call him Zion Dawn pretending to be Nazis. It's pretty funny. Crossover maniac. There's a difference between someone not liking a topping on the pizza and being offended that someone else is eating that topping. My question is, why would anyone care what other people eat? Yeah, unless they're like eating like, you know, a live cat or something like that, or carving a chunk off of a live cow. As long as it doesn't involve animal abuse, strictly speaking, eat what you want. Most of my recipes, ironically, are vegetarian. I mean, I'm sitting there eating biltong, but when I'm cooking, usually it's just vegetables and shit. Fragile Wolf, would you try lutefisk and kimchi on pizza? Yeah, I've had kimchi before. It's pretty good. I don't know how that would jive with pizza. You definitely have to drain it, you know, dry it out a little bit more. I've never had lutefisk. I don't even know what it is. Mike the Wop, you're like that fat French teacher I had in high school. If we got her talking about food, the class was over. Yeah, Rayford, she was not easily distracted. Very intelligent individual. There was another one, Miss Churchill. She was the English teacher. She's retired now, I believe. So I'm allowed to talk about her. She was the easily distracted teacher. She was my 9th grade English teacher. And it was a running joke because, you know, I would talk with her about things, and, you know, most of the class would be taken up talking about some political issue, some current event, something like that. It was easy she was very talkative, very, very conversational. And I had an acquaintance at the time that would goad me into bringing up random shit to Miss Churchill so that she would, basically, we didn't have to work in class. It did that over and over again, almost every single day it worked. It was funny. Lutefisk is rotten fish cured in lye. It's awful. I'll try it. You know, hominy is just a flint corn that's been soaked in lye in order to extract the nutrients. Copium poppies. Reminder that we are on Rumble and require subscriptions. That's what I'm talking about. No, lutefisk. Yeah, if I can figure out how to get some, I'll try it. I've got haggis here, actually, that I still haven't eaten yet. It's supposed to be prepared with mashed parsnips, actually, traditionally speaking. Traditionally, haggis is eaten with mashed potatoes and turnip/rutabaga, although I don't think that the same term is used in England or Scotland as opposed to the United States. I believe that they're actually mentioning parsnips. But I like turnip too, and it doesn't really matter. So my grandfather once grew a rutabaga. It was as big as your fucking head. I don't know how he did it. So yeah, I eat basically everything that I can find. Yeah, let's see if I can get lutefisk on, like, I don't know, Amazon, I guess, or eBay. You're seeing it live. Can I get it canned? Oh, yeah, lutefisk fillet. Nordic catch freeze-dried cod bites. Only in Scandinavia, by the way. I've had some Icelandic food. I know they eat that fermented shark meat. It's called a hakarl, actually. Unfortunately, when I did get it shipped from an Icelandic company, it came in an unrefrigerated box and was starting to get weirder than it should be. And I didn't trust it, so I couldn't eat it. I did get crowberry liquor, though. Oh, that was spectacular. It's basically like liquor made from an offshoot of blueberries. Lutefisk fillet, 1.75 pounds. Is this freeze-dried, or? Let me check. We're going to check this. I'll try it. Cod bites. Yeah, that's definitely, that's when somebody is drunk. That's when they're probably doing that. Icelandic dried fish. I have had that. That was good. In the Netherlands, it's more about salmon, and a lot of it's brined. So it's more like it's kind of like lox, actually, the Nordic salmon. It's very, very good. It's got a smoky flavor, a little bit on the salty side. Delicious, actually. You carve that up, you put it on a bagel or something. Then you go to the Wailing Wall. Let's see. An acquired taste once a year is adequate. Okay. I might have to order that later. Yeah, thank you for that tip off. Ormagami, hello, Professor Styx Hexenhammer Churchill. By the way, please send no more super chats. I've got to go offline. Got a lot of stuff to do. Eating, news docketing, sleeping at some point. Yeah, but since I'm an insomniac, that's, take it or leave it as far as time zone go. Nixie, Miss Rayford was a slave driver to make us do our best. Sadly, I didn't get a perfect 5. I got a 4, but I still got college credit. # garlic bread. Yeah, I managed to get a 5. She was a slave driver, though. Her class, she very good teacher, but very, very strict. You don't mess up in her class. It was sort of like Mrs. Hooker, actually, who ran for office successfully, and I think still is in office. She was very by the book, very professionalistic. You have some teachers that are easygoing, and it's like, oh, I give you a mercy D, if you're fucking around or something like that. And then you get teachers who are like sharp as nails. Mrs. Rayford was one of them, but she was a very, very good teacher, and her food was fucking spectacular. I think she was of Italian origin based on how well she could cook pasta and garlic bread. Like one night we went there and she hadn't prepared food. And I'm like, oh, come on. Privateer of the East. Hi, Styx. Today is the crypto ball in DC. Bitcoin to the moon. By the way, drafting some creature cards. We'll send on X by next week. Would appreciate feedback. Thank you for everything, Styx. Clank. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have fun. Yeah, smoked salmon is one of the best foods. Not the best, but one of them. I like my favorite food of all time. If I could only eat one thing for the rest of eternity, as far as like a singular food, it would be smoked eel, prepared in the Japanese style, with the sweet, salty sauce. That is the favorite food of all time for me. But smoked salmon would be up there. My mom's tuna noodle casserole, which I gorged on yesterday, with ketchup, of course. That is a necessity. Cottage pie / shepherd's pie. It depends on your linguistic origin, which one you consider which. I think technically shepherd's pie is with lamb and cottage pie is with hamburger. I don't know. We always called it shepherd's pie. Yeah, unagi. Lox and cream cheese on a bagel with freshly chopped chives, by the way. Anyways, I'm going to go offline. I've got a lot to do. Got to do things. And, of course, I will docket news for tomorrow. I will be back on Monday, of course, live streaming. And let's see, just a sec. Monday is my birthday. It's also Inauguration Day. I probably won't do my Monday stream because I'm going to be going live at the quartering, and I think he's bumped it back to cover the inauguration. So I'll need to get on there early. So I'm going to be assisting him as co-host on that one. And I believe that Hannah Claire will also be aboard, depending on her schedule, of course. And so we're going to have a good time. We're going to be watching the crazy shit happen. I'll definitely be watching the run-up. I will make my morning videos, I think, but I don't think I'll have time to do my own live stream. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the news cycle on Monday is going to get gobbled up by Trump's inauguration anyway. So I don't really expect there to be anything else to talk about. It's basically going to be Trump, 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 and by the way, a little bit more Trump. That's basically going to be the news cycle for Monday. In fact, it might start early. On Sunday, you might start seeing that pouring in. Oh, what to expect. Here's the itinerary. What happens if Trump gets injured at the event? Is Trump mentally sane? Trump is convicted of a bunch of felonies. Why is he president? Stuff like that. It's going to be all Trump all the time for like 48 fucking hours. I may not even get enough news to make anything meaningful on Sunday, let alone on Monday. So I'm going to go offline. I'm going to try to docket some pre-Trump inauguration news for tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. That's about all. Peace out.